Hello, hello. Back with another can-do here. Maybe that's what we'll call these can-dos. So we have here today, this is a factory box, OEM. This is out of the Jeep Cherokee here. We'll go in more depth with there. And what we have into this factory box surrounding us here, and some cans that became won'ts, and some cans that we can. So by far challenging this was. It's still going to be a challenge when we go to mount it back in, not mounting the box itself, but you know, the extra distance that we've gained here by adding the ring is the depth we needed to you know, complement the system with the Kappa 8-inch 400 watt 2 or 4 ohm. They got a really nice feature on these. We'll get more in depth on that as well. So from that, this was the factory wiring. This was external, and the plug that, you know, meant the coming from the head unit up front. And these are the two that were inside the box. You know, 4 ohm dual voice in there. It was surprising from the factory. You know, still a piece of garbage, but just a little surprising there at the dual coil. So yeah, and then I ran at 2 ohms off the little dump amp that they have up front. That's gone. So, you know, getting rid of this left a you know, a hole. Obviously, there are 2 holes in this box. Well, 3 if you count the mount for the woofer, but this was the factory plug, which we stretched to death, yanking these wires out. There's a set here and there's a set here. It's a really good soft rubber, holds well. So that they did not chintz out on. I don't believe the Kappa's got the balls to blow this plug out. You know, I guess we'll see, but you know, it's not like you can just drill the holes bigger in here. You know, the rubber would just deteriorate. Again, it's very soft, surprisingly. I thought about heating up a rod and, you know, shoving it through the hole and burning my way through. You know, but honestly, just stuck you know, the back end of a drill bit in there, the, you know, non-spiral end, the chuck end, and ended up taping it to it and just yanked and shoved and yanked and shoved and yeah, so it's through. Very tight seal. And so that can just obviously pop out there. And yeah, so I'm glad that worked. Because I've been contemplating this one for a long time. Just gotta put this one on the back burner because I didn't have the right answer that I liked personally. Again, this is all personal preference stuff here. You know, having one of these laying around, you know, SMD Steve Mead, that would have been just way overkill on this box. So, you know, I'm gonna use that. And it's all copper, the $40-50 elsewhere. And then I crafted this little guy. Has a, you know, thin seal, and you know, that would have potentially you know, some binding post in there, and I just would put my tine in the bottom and screw them down. But you didn't have to use that either. So just some things that ended up passing on. I'm happy with the result, no doubt. And I bought a couple grommets too, that's possibly for, 1-2 holes. And put it in. This was another hole that had the bolt going in, and that's what tied to the back of the subwoofer. It's screwed into it just to give it a little more support in there. So plug that and dynamatted it on both sides. So it's a little more in depth there on some ideas that we did not end up using. So this from the factory. Went ahead and just threw some of this Amazon mat on there. It's foil, a little bit of butyl. It definitely toned it down without a doubt on the outside. So inside, definitely was a challenge here. Again, that's the Akusa stuff inside. I might be getting a little more familiar with that. I like this because it fluffs up really good, and it kind of, how would you want to say, stays in place, but yet is, fluffy enough. You don't want to pack it too tight. It creates heat then. This is going to create a little bit of heat, but I'm going to be okay with it. So the old sub, obviously, mounted flush with the top from the factory, which was originally down here. 1 7/8 inches, I believe, we had to produce. And there were 6 mounts from the factory, and it had like a little dip, that came down, extension, I guess maybe one could say, cavity, sealed, that the subwoofer mounted into those 6 points. Little flimsy, once there's no bolt in it, obviously holding anything in place. And I originally tried 2 rings, and I was going to mount the first ring into those holes, and then glue my second ring, and then again put inserts on the top, and just create 1 ring, but do it in 2 steps to attach to the box. Obviously, I wouldn't want to try and run something all the way down that distance. It just, I don't like that. So, but those ended up being too weak. They just, one deteriorated and blah, blah, blah. So I scrapped that, went to 1 ring and put inserts similar to this on the bottom of the ring. And then I came up from underneath and squeezed the 2 together. So there's a bolt down here that goes up. The access to those is terrible. The room to work with is terrible. There was a lot of Effenheimers going on and a lot of pauses putting those in. A lot of pauses, let's say. Maybe not so many Effenheimers, but at least a few of those came out. But once those were on, I became happy, let's say. And because these are several rings glued together, I just put a piece of boom around, a nice piece, and then actually folded it underneath, so where the plastic factory box meets the ring, that's actually completely sealed and squeezed underneath. And then though it even covers the partially the inserts and screws I put inside that you can't see. So some medium fill on the Akusa stuff. Also did spray the inside of the box with boom mat, 2 coats over the course of a few days, just to help with that. Result. So pretty darn happy there. So let's get into the Kappa quickly. One more thing before that, sorry. These rubber ring here goes inside, and the Kappa would mount, into the inserts. But with the addition of the boom mat, just no way. It just does not squeeze in there anymore. So reason I was going to use this, not to help with any sealing there, it's got an extension lip on it. So when the cap is in there and it's on there, the ring would be above it. So about an inch or so. It's kind of hard to do with my one hand, and that would then meet with the interior panel that this will be behind. Time will tell here when we go to remount into the vehicle. So that rubber ring, great product. I just didn't use it here. MVX, top-notch stuff there, man. Top-notch stuff. That's an 8-inch for the Kappa. They make it for your 6x9s and 6.5s, whatever too. And I will be using those in this build as well. Just did not end up using it here. I may still try and salvage this somehow for the interior part. And just a shot of the ring. It goes on the Kappa, and then exactly what model we got there. So it's a 400 watt, RMS 800 watt peak. But the neat feature is, over our 12 here. 2 or 4 ohm, and I meant that. And I think I've seen this on a few other subs now, but I had not seen it prior to getting this Kappa. I've had this laying around for a little bit. So yeah, however you want to run it, I'm going to be running at 4 ohms off the. I can't. I have to look at the sheet, but it's either going to be on one of the T500s or off the P1000X5. And I think we're going to run at 4 ohms. So. Yeah, a little less on the amp and everybody else. So, and again, internally here, the Sky High car audio. I love this stuff, 8 gauge. It's a great wire. Again, I just use it internally. I got some, we'll get to that, some beef on the outside for a lot of the subs. So, okay, appreciate you checking it out. And yeah, thank you.